Welcome to our video on how to do bridges without bindings that have an A difficulty in straight line. Here we can see a gymnast performing a stride bridge forwards from the front board to the front handle with grip on the rims. Another variation of bridges with A difficulty is the stride bridge backwards on the rim handles with grip on the rims. Before you start training a bridge without bindings, your gymnast should feel comfortable performing a handstand. Make sure the gymnast can hold a handstand with straight arms for at least 30 seconds against a wall or with the help of a coach. Make sure the arms are straight and the shoulders and hips are extended. The gymnast should also be able to do a bridge on the floor for an extended duration. When performing the gymnastics bridge, you should watch the gymnast's leg, back and shoulder position. Preferably, the legs are closed and straight, the back should be slightly arched, the shoulders should be overextended and the arms straight. You can assist the gymnast's back by pulling up their shoulders slightly. Always make sure the hands and feet don't slip away and that they are not too close together to avoid back injuries. The distance from yourself and the wall can be adjusted to the gymnast's height and skill level and to avoid slipping with hands or feet. Bridges in one binding are great to prepare your gymnast for bridges without bindings. The gymnast already gets a feeling of the bridge position in the wheel and can strengthen their arms and shoulders. If the bridge in one binding is performed with grip on the rims, the gymnast will also learn to open their fingers when passing the floor. If your gymnast is able to do a side rotation without bindings, you can be sure that they have enough strength in their shoulders to also hold a bridge without bindings. As we will see when we perform bridges in the wheel, the support position is one of the two core body positions that the gymnast will have to hold for an extended duration. I would recommend that the gymnast can hold this position for at least 30 seconds. To reach this position, the gymnast can start in a front support position with legs on the floor and then walk up the wall with their feet and walk closer to the wall with their hands. In the end, the hands should be placed about 1 arm length away from the wall. Make sure that the gymnast has their head in extension of their spine, the legs and hips are straight and the shoulders are at an angle of about 135 degrees. This is the other body position the gymnast will have to be able to hold for an extended duration. I would again recommend that the gymnast can hold this position for at least 30 seconds. Make sure that the head is in extension of the spine and the legs are straight. But here the back should be slightly arched and the hips and shoulders should be overextended. Once your gymnast is able to do the preliminary exercises, it is time to move into the wheel. We will start with a forward variation of the stride bridge without bindings. The gymnast will perform a stride bridge forwards, standing on the front board and the front handle, and holding the rims in the middle between the back handle rung and the back stride rung. To help the gymnast develop a feeling for the different bridge positions inside the wheel, the coach can move the wheel back and forth, while the gymnast repeatedly transitions from the support to the bridge position. Before doing a full rotation, make sure that the gymnast feels comfortable to almost get to the upside down position in both directions. If the gymnast does the bridge for the first time, it is best to have a second coach or gymnast assisting you to control the speed of the wheel. When going forwards, make sure the gymnast takes in the support position. You can secure the gymnast by holding their hips. When the gymnast's hands approach the floor, make sure to remind them to open their fingers. To help the gymnast transition into the bridge position, the coach can slightly push between the gymnast's shoulder blades. During the whole rotation, it is important for the coach to make sure the gymnast does not slip off with their feet. At first, it is best to support the gymnast around their hips with both hands. Once the gymnast gets used to the move, the coach can support the gymnast with one hand between the shoulder blades and adjust the speed of the wheel with the other hand. Next, we will have a look on how the gymnast can set the wheel in motion. First, the gymnast stands on the boards, holding on the rim handles. By moving their weight forwards, the gymnast creates the initial momentum. Then, the gymnast spreads their preferred leg to the front handle. By keeping their upper body close towards their front leg, the gymnast can increase the momentum. When the legs are at a horizontal, the gymnast has to reposition their hands to in between the back handle rung and the back stride rung. Make sure that the arms and hands are extended and the fingers are closed when repositioning. Now the gymnast should be in the support position, trying to increase the momentum even more by moving their body weight towards the front foot and the front heel pushing down towards the floor. Once the front foot passes the floor, the gymnast can extend the front foot and move the body weight towards the back foot. The back foot should now be flexed. Then the gymnast opens their fingers and transitions into the bridge position. Once the back foot passes the floor, the gymnast should extend the back foot, moving their weight towards the front foot, which now should be flexed again. Always make sure that the head position is correct. After some practice, the gymnast should be able to perform the stride bridge forwards without bindings by themselves. Now we will look at another variation of a stride bridge without bindings. This time the gymnast starts with their feet on the handles and holding the rims between the boards. All variations of stride bridges forwards with a difficulty are considered to be the same element and may not be repeated in a routine. We will again start by just moving the wheel back and forth, so the gymnast can get used to the support and the bridge position. For this variation, the gymnast needs less flexibility in their legs, but will need to be stronger in their arms and shoulders and upper body. When performing this variation, make sure that the gymnast does not slip off with their feet and that they open their fingers. You can support them during the transition from support into bridge position. Similar to the first variation, the gymnast has to create momentum by moving their body weight, but they usually do not have the possibility to create momentum simply by lifting their leg into the stride position. The right foot technique is even more important here. It is recommended for the gymnast to add a small change of direction before the move, by first leaning backwards and putting the weight on the back handle for a short moment, after which they start the forwards bridge by pushing the front heel down towards the floor. Once the front foot passes the floor, the gymnast has to extend the front foot and move the body weight towards the back foot. The back foot should now be flexed. Then the gymnast opens their fingers and transitions into the bridge position. Once the back foot passes the floor, the gymnast should extend the back foot, moving their weight towards the front foot, which now should be flexed again. And as always, make sure that the head position is correct. The stride bridge can also be performed backwards. The technique is very similar, but the order of the two body positions is inverted, as well as the foot technique. It is also possible to enter into stride bridges without a direction change before the move. This is more challenging, but can be useful when building exercises. First, the gymnast leans backwards to create momentum, pushing their back foot towards the floor. Once the back foot is closest to the floor, the gymnast goes into the bridge position, extending their back foot. The gymnast opens their hands when they get close to the floor. Then the gymnast transitions from the bridge position over a brief handstand into the support position. After the front foot passes the floor, the gymnast extends the front foot and flexes the back foot, shifting their weight backwards. The coach can support the gymnast first between the shoulder blades and then under the front of the upper body in the second half. It is also possible to support the transition by slightly pulling on the side of the hips or the shoulders. The stride bridge backwards can also be performed from the board to the handle. The technique and support by the coach is the same for all stride bridges backwards. All variations of stride bridges backwards with a difficulty are considered to be the same element and may not be repeated in a routine. But it is allowed to do a stride bridge backwards and a stride bridge forwards in the same routine. There are many more variations of stride bridges. If your gymnast keeps losing contact to the wheel with one or both feet, it can be an indicator that the wheel is too big. But it can also mean your gymnast does not yet have enough strength or flexibility, that they are doing the weight shifting from one foot to the other at the wrong time, or they do not extend or flex the corresponding foot enough. In either case, you can try to use a smaller wheel, but make sure the gymnast has the right wheel size in the long run and understands the foot technique. Once your gymnast has mastered different variations of stride bridges, it is time to move towards bridges or combinations with bridges with higher difficulties. For example, the giant rim bridge. Stride bridges can also be performed in spiral, as you can see here. Thank you for watching. We hope you have fun learning bridges without bindings with a difficulty.